Hey 49ers fans, before we start this new 49ers report, go ahead and give me a follow on Twitter. We got a Twitter challenge going on right now, trying to get 50 new followers on my personal Twitter account, where we talk a lot of 49ers stuff over there on the Twitter platform. So give me a follow, at Real Thomas Mott on Twitter. Gonna try and get 50 new followers, maybe more, from this video. All right, without further ado, after you follow my Twitter, let's go ahead and jump right in. Let's go and start with the latest trade news surrounding Curtis Samuel, who might be on the trading block down there in Carolina, who San Francisco needs a wide receiver. Maybe they go ahead and make a deal for Samuel. So right now, reports are suggesting Carolina is shopping Curtis Samuel, the wide receiver, only 24 years old. He's a good speed fit, and he's entering the final year of his deal. So they don't want to re-sign him because, of course, new head coach Matt Rule out of Baylor wants to go ahead and get all of his guys, wants to get all of his players. They're trying to get as many draft picks as possible. Could San Francisco be one of the targets for Curtis Samuel? Multiple outlets are reporting that it would at least work. They're not saying that the 49ers have made calls yet, although, you know, they might have actually made calls yet, but it would be a good fit overall for San Francisco because in Kyle Shanahan's offense, he likes kind of the smaller speed guys, and of course, a 24-year-old Curtis Samuel ran a 4.31 at his pro day and also at the combine as well, just a couple of years back whenever he was drafted. Been a good player from the Carolina Panthers with Cam Newton the past couple of years, but still, entering the final year of his deal, I think could make a lot of sense for San Francisco if they want to go ahead and make a trade for him. So last year, you know, not bad, 627 yards, 53 catches, 6 touchdowns. 36 of those catches went for first downs, though. He feels very much Deebo Samuel-like, and have two of those players on your squad could be very, very good for Jimmy Garoppolo. The question is, though, what would you be willing to give up to go ahead and get him? So San Francisco doesn't have a lot of draft picks. We know they have 7 draft picks, and I do not want to give up number 31 overall for Curtis Samuel. He's not worth a first-round pick. So I decided to create my own trade that would make a ton of sense for both sides. Here it is. San Francisco would give up Matt Breida and a 5th. Now, Breida, of course, is most likely, he is coming back to the 49ers this year. He is a trade potential target that's been rumored to be potentially going around. And the Carolina Panthers need a running back. So the trade, again, you see it on your screen, Matt Breida and a 5th for Curtis Samuel. And the reason why it works not only for us, but also for the Carolina Panthers, is the Panthers' running back depth chart behind Christian McCaffrey is awful. Look at this guy. Do you even know who Reggie Bonifant is, or Jordan Scarlett? I don't remember watching them at all last year in my limited Carolina Panther viewings that I did whenever they were, you know, nationally or whatever on Fox. I think this trade makes a lot of sense overall, not only for San Francisco, but also for the Carolina Panthers. There's also reports that Christian McCaffrey could be traded right now, and so if that's the case, then they definitely need a running back in Matt Breida. I would do this deal. The question is, would Carolina do the deal? And I think that's a very real possibility that it could actually happen. Matt Breida and a 5th for Curtis Samuel. Go ahead and bolster the 49ers wide receiver chances, and still get someone at number 13 overall if they wanted to go ahead and do that. Quick ad break here on YouTube, but I want to see if you guys like this trade. So San Francisco, trade for Curtis Samuel, type Y down below for yes, type N down below for no. So there have been some new details come out about exactly what the 49ers did and how they did the DeForest Buckner trade, and how they actually didn't really want to re-sign him in the first place because he was too expensive, and they looked at trading Arik Armstead as well. It all comes out of The Athletic. But before we get into that, we also have a great deal on a San Francisco 49er t-shirt, a Niner Empire t-shirt right now that's on sale for less than 20 bucks, like $7 off at chatsports.com/Niner Empire. Link is in the description. Go ahead and pick that one up. And then moving back to our DeForest Buckner conversation, here's what Matt Barrows from The Athletic, a very reliable, great beat writer covering the San Francisco 49ers, had to say about getting rid of DeForest Buckner. Quote, "The 49ers thought Buckner's asking price was too high. They began seeking a trade partner as the NFL Combine was getting underway, which coincided with the team's initial meeting with Buckner's agent. Second, they never would have been able to get a mid-round pick for Armstead." So, a couple of things tell us there that the asking price was always too high. There were reports they were trying to restructure his contract, trying to extend him, and that just never really came true because he was so darn expensive. And of course, he re-signed with the Indianapolis Colts for like a ton of money. But the other interesting thing here is that they never would have been able to get a mid-first round pick for Arik Armstead. So that means they probably would have been willing to go ahead and trade Arik Armstead had they been able to get something good in return, but Armstead probably would have given you a second, maybe a third-round draft pick, whereas Buckner, who was the MVP of the defense, you see the stats on your screen last year, both of them were great, but Buckner, of course, not in my opinion, but in other people's opinion, is the better defender. I think I'd rather have Armstead over Buckner, but Buckner was able to concede more, or able to get more, I should say, from the Indianapolis Colts, so it makes a lot more sense why San Francisco was willing to do that trade. But I think it's interesting that there were reports, and we talked about it here on the channel, that they were working on their restructuring, they were going to get Buckner re-signed because he was in the final year of his deal, and turns out he was always going to be too expensive. So hats off to the 49ers We're not waiting around and kind of hoping that he would come around. They're like, nope, you're not going to re-sign. You're too expensive. You want too much money. Bye, gone. We'll get number 13 overall for you, which I said in my grading video is a fantastic move by our 49ers. I love this trade overall, and I think that this was one of the better moves the Niners did this offseason, even though we can be honest, the Niners all did very good moves this offseason because I liked each and everything that they did. Final little graphic we'll throw up on the screen right now. Bosa, Ford, Thomas, and Armstead are all scheduled to make more than $6 million this year, so people are worried about that offensive line. You got a lot of money invested in it still with DeForest Buckner gone. I think they're going to be okay. It's so crazy how much we're paying Solomon Thomas, over $6 million this year because he was drafted so high, signs the great rookie deal, and then never actually turns out to be any good. So a couple players there, of course, signing for over $6 million. Cam Newton, this trade thing is up next, but first, make sure you subscribe to the 49ers Report because we're approaching 20,000 subs here, which is crazy. Like just the other day, we had 15,000 subs, and now because I think most of you guys are stuck at home, you're bored, you want the latest 49er news, you guys are subscribing, and we appreciate that. So, if you've not subscribed yet, the red subscribe button down below, and also click the notification bell as well. That way you help us get to 20,000, and you're also notified whenever we jump on here for our brand new videos. We do live videos. If you're brand new, just check out the channel for like a week and you'll be hooked, I guarantee it. Okay, I promised Cam Newton. I mentioned Cam Newton. Yes, we're going to talk about Cam Newton to the 49ers because NFL Network is talking about it, so we're going to talk about it too. First off, before we even get into this, I think this is ridiculous. We should not sign Cam Newton, but alas, here's the deal. Cam Newton, he's a free agent. He was trying to be, the Carolina Panthers tried to trade him before they cut him. Of course, no one was able to, no one wanted to do the trade. The Bears didn't want to do it. The Chargers didn't want to do it, so he's a free agent right now. And for whatever reason, San Francisco has been linked to every single free agent quarterback, it seems. And so here we go again. Cam Newton to the 49ers as a potential backup. This all comes from the NFL Network's Bucky Brooks, where he said, quote, "If I'm Cam Newton and I can't go to the LA Chargers because they love Tyrod Taylor, I go to San Francisco. And the reason why Cam Newton in San Francisco would work is because I just believe that there may not be this great sense that Jimmy Garoppolo is their guy." So Bucky Brooks is literally assuming that Kyle Shanahan does not like Jimmy Garoppolo, and I guess that's because the whole Tom Brady news, which we knew the 49ers weren't that interested, but they still at least took a look at Tom Brady, according to multiple sources, according to other reports there, including The Athletic. But here's Bucky Brooks, who's a very trusted, great former NFL scout, a great guy in terms of the NFL, but he's saying Cam Newton would be a good backup for the for Jimmy Garoppolo because they don't trust Jimmy Garoppolo. He went on to say this, "I'm just saying, from the Niners standpoint, you'd be able to get Cam Newton at his cheapest, so if you think about a value position just to bring him in case Jimmy Garoppolo gets hurt or falters, it would just be an interesting thing to think about if I'm the San Francisco 49ers and I'm looking to add value and pop to my offense." So first off, San Francisco does not have a ton of money, so Cam Newton would have to be signed at a very, very cheap number, which maybe he would be willing to do, but it's Cam Newton. Maybe he would not be willing to do because the pride thing is there. Here's the deal. I know we're going to see comments saying this is stupid. Why are we talking about this? We're talking about this because other people are talking about this. The NFL Network's kind of a big deal. But let me just say right now, it's a stupid. Like, the 49ers should not sign Cam Newton. You do not want to create a quarterback controversy because imagine what happens if the Niners, for whatever reason, started off a little slow. Like, what if they started off 1-2 and Jimmy G threw 2 picks in the first 3 games? There would be some people, not myself, but people out there, maybe you at home, who would be calling for Cam Newton. You create a quarterback controversy, and it's a real problem. There's an old saying in the NFL, when you have 2 quarterbacks, you basically have 0 quarterbacks because of the quarterback controversy. And Jimmy G, having someone behind him with the accolades of Cam Newton, remember, former NFL MVP, to me would just be an absolute disaster. I don't see them doing this. It would make absolutely no sense. Unless they truly, truly do not trust Jimmy Garoppolo, and by signing Cam Newton, they would say that. I think that would create a whole bunch of mental issues for Jimmy Garoppolo in terms of trust, in terms of just being able to hang in there and be the quarterback of the 49ers. He's going to be just fine this year. They're going to get him another target, whether that's Curtis Samuel or somebody else or Brandon Cooks, or they draft someone at number 13 overall. He's going to have a great offense, a great running game, a great defense. Like, they're going to be good all the way around. It's all up to him to go ahead and play well, and I think he will. He played great last year. The stats were very, very good. We know what Jimmy Garoppolo was capable of, and they had a 10-point lead, albeit in the 4th quarter of the Super Bowl. They had a chance to go ahead and win, and had they won that game, we would not even be talking about this, but because they lost, of course, other people are talking about Cam Newton and what he's done, and listen, I don't like Cam Newton. I've never been a fan of Cam Newton. He's cocky, he's arrogant, he's a mobile quarterback who gets hurt. He has terrible accuracy issues, and I think the fact that no one wanted to trade for him, the Bears chose Nick Foles, who lost his job to Gardner Minshew last year, despite being in a Super Bowl MVP. Give credit to where credit is due. They still chose him over Cam Newton. The Colts still chose 90-year-old Phillip Rivers over Cam Newton. It shows that a lot of NFL GMs are not big on Cam Newton, are not sold on Cam Newton, and if they aren't, then I am not either. I'll ask you guys though. Final question here: should we sign Cam Newton? Type 1 down below for yes. Type 2 down below for no. Type 1 down below for yes. Type 0 down below for no. I'm expecting a lot of zeros. If I see some ones down there, I'll be very, very upset with you, and you guys know who you are. I think 0 no for Cam Newton, but I figured it's a Monday, it's news, it's rumors. I want to give you guys that one from the NFL Network and Bucky Brooks. There you go. All the time we have for today on the 49ers Report. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Maybe we make a trade for Curtis Samuel. Maybe we sign Cam Newton, although I hope not, but we'll see what happens over the coming days and weeks. Plenty more videos upcoming this week, so stay tuned. All the time we have for today. For the 49ers Report, I'm Thomas Mott, signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.